Well, hello everybody, and welcome to SpeedGaming Main. Today we are back with some more of the 2024 Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. We have a Group J matchup between Ninjembro and Krawalltofu. The mode today is Open, which is seems to be the least popular of the three modes. It's about as basic as you can get. Just get your crystals and go to GT and beat Ganon. I am Blue Link, and I'm joined by Raylan Tankier. How are you doing? Oh, sorry, he's just fixing up the rest of the setup here. He'll be here in a second. On tracking, we have Darag Sharna, who's been doing a lot of tracking in this tournament so far and is greatly appreciated. And we should be getting underway any second now. And I think we are listening to the Gradius MSU from Ninjembro right now. Okay, so Glove in Link's house and Boots in Sanctuary. What a start. Oh, never mind, I'm wrong. We're listening to Sea of Stars MSU on Krawalltofu's side. And my co-commentator is here. How are you?
I am doing fine. Very excited for another day full of rando, and yeah.
Yeah, there's a crazy number of matches on the schedule today, and a bunch of them are going to be getting restreams. So if you got nothing better to do today, there's a lot of races you can watch.
For sure. I mean, looks like we are off to a good start with that early boots.
Oh, absolutely. Now all we need is a sword to make it less awkward.
Oh, plenty of opportunities to find that. Finding that boots together with that glove that I would presume comes from Uncle. Ninjembro already able to just immediately check back of escape for 3 additional checks. Oh, finding the map, not really what you want to see, but there you have your sword.
Wow.
So yeah, this will actually make it quite a bit nicer for Ninjembro here. We'll have to see when Tofu decides to go grab those.
I would assume her next save and quit would be to Link's house, and then she'll immediately have her glove.
Okay, the glove is there. Yeah.
Bottle and Kakariko. That's always nice.
I'd like to see that. Thing is, if you start in Link's house with Tofu and you grab that glove, you're probably not just gonna immediately save and quit again. You're more likely to just do some of the South Shore or maybe go over to Eastern. And yeah, if it's South Shore and Monimoldam Cave specifically, Ninjembro will have a slight advantage there with the sword, just having easier Monimoldam Cave compared to just having to use bombs. So no dramatic difference, but yeah, small time save for Ninjembro there early on. And those things can matter in the long run.
We did get map checks from both runners. Oh, there's a hammer in the well. Nice.
Ooh.
So we're just a moon pearl away from Dark World access.
Yeah, this is now getting quite interesting. We still have a few checks in Kakariko here, and if the moon pearl is also here, Ninjembro could just reasonably say, yeah, I'm not gonna check race game, I just go straight into Dark World. Village of Outcast, we do have a sword with the hammer already, Thieves Town, fully clearable. Which by that point probably would be a pendant, because it always is in those kinds of situations, but no, like you would have quite a few options available to you. But apparently no moon pearl to be found here yet.
Uh-oh, Tofu forgot to check Sick Kid.
Easy mistake. If you're starting a bit nervous into tournament race, can easily happen. Hopefully it's not gonna be turning out too bad. Getting a shovel here in the library is kinda nice too. You can also just go straight over there. Check that. Which is also quite easy too. And apparently Tofu remembered about the bottle.
Alright, this isn't going to cost a lot of time, but it is awkward.
Yeah. Like, it's not a lot of time, but like still 20-30 seconds in this mode can be quite a lot. And I mean, 300 rupees is a good price for that. I mean, we do have boots, so a water walk on the South Shore is always a reasonable option. And getting 300 rupees towards that and being able to pay off Zora potentially with that, yeah, quite decent.
And, oh, vanilla flute?
What? Hello,
Wow.
Brando? You alright there? Everything is fine? This is
amazing.
This is now how this is supposed to work. Well, back to Kakariko again for Tofu. Because you want to activate that flute as soon as anyhow possible. Oh. Yeah, ninjembro, you wanna go in there again. Like, very easy to just wanna quick peek this item, but yeah, by the time you see it, you already have moved out again if you do your normal muscle memory there. So yeah, have to go back in again. And Ninjembro also going over to get that flute, which will make our movement nicer, but it just kinda yeah, reinforces the slight advantage Ninjembro is going to have with that sword here in Mini Moldom Cave, because we just get there faster now with the flute. But yeah, means no save and quit for that too. So no sword for Tofu. Yet. Like, it's not like Tofu will miss that for all too long. Like, it will just be the first opportune moment to do a save and quit, which could be Ice Rod Cave or Agina, or maybe just out of the Zora area after a water walk. To check that, but again, we'll have to do a bomb or hammer Mini Moldom Cave here right now for Tofu, and while it's not particularly hard, it can be annoying at times. And
I think she just dropped 2 bombs right into the pit by accident.
Yep. Can very easily happen if the Moldarm in the middle just decides to charge straight down to you, so you don't really have room to place the bomb, hold it, maybe throw it.
Oh, wow! So that's the second sword and mirror.
That's quite a starter package. Mountain completely logic now. All the way over to Spiral Cave and Paradox Cave.
And Ninjembro is going the same way after doing the dam.
I mean, with the flute, there's really not much else choice. It's just straight up the best value for checks that you can get for your time. And yeah, you can go over to Ice Rod Cave, you can check Agina, be a bit safe, do these one-off checks that are slightly out of the way, but you can't do that any time now with the flute, so might as well do what the seed is screaming at you to do. Yeah, and Ninjembro just doing that immediately. Now, this does place us in a very interesting spot where our moon pearl could just be on the pyramid ledge. All we need for that is the lamp to turn up.
Oh, that's gross. I mean, it could just be Vanilla and Hera. How about that?
Ah, it absolutely can be. Zora is in logic with that glove too, which Tofu does not know yet. No, should know. It's just not. No, Tofu didn't do that 7 crit yet.
Okay, so Pendant, Meyer, and Thieves Town. Hey, you called it, Pendant, Thieves Town. And our 5/6 is at Pod and Skullwoods.
Yeah, I have played this game once or twice too. Like there are a few things that I've encountered over the years, so yeah, not really too surprised on that. It's just really how these seeds like to turn out to be. Early hammer and glove for Dark World Access means Thieves Town most likely a pendant, because it would be the very first crystal you would want to rush into if you have the ability to. And the game does like that. Yeah, we will get to see if you get your Vanilla Moon Pearl. Big key freely available without fire, so we can do the climb up. Notably, we have seen already one item of the two, so if we get a second, we can skip out on the other chests to check. What we don't want to see is that one, being the small key, putting the basement into a position where we might be forced to do it. We want the second item, but
okay, we're safe.
No, never mind. Yeah. So pretty much what you don't want to see in Hera is that small key. What you want to see is getting the second item. And we got both, so we're fine.
Oh, this is nice Moldorm battle music. Ninjembro's been slowly gaining some ground back, actually. He's almost at Moldorm.
I don't quite have the qualifier thread open, but I'm pretty sure Tofu wasn't in the... or was very, very at the bottom of the qualifier seats, being most likely the Q4 player of the group. And I would suspect ninjembro be either Q1 or Q2, so being the favorite in overall playing strength, which also kind of makes sense maybe with the mode pick being open for Tofu, not trying the execution battle of 80 keys, maybe not having the confidence in cross hunt. So yeah, I would suspect on pure execution for ninjembro to make up time over the course of the seats.
Yeah, and that is definitely proving to be the case so far.
Yeah, nothing meaningful in Tower of Hera itself aside from a crystal, which we obviously are very happy to pick up. Slight mishap here on Tofu's side, mirroring off of the or switching off of the mirror and not deleting the block. Costing a few precious seconds. Do I have the flippers and the moon pearl? Okay.
So that's Dark World access for Ninjembro.
And I mean, it pretty much sure will be now for Tofu as well, starting Link's house, finding his glove. And yeah, thinking, and maybe just deciding to just go straight into the Dark Vault, so will be missing out on that sword and back of escape for a few more minutes.
It's unlikely she just misses it altogether, because with the mirror you can just do that with your North Dark World loop.
I mean, even without the mirror, on just any reasonable save and quit moment that would arise, and there are still a few, even with flute and mirror, you could just go check that back of escape.
Okay,
to
so
get a
we have
book.
some divergence here. And Tofu got a book in Hype Cave.
Yeah, I mean, maybe slightly interesting that Ninjembro decides to start in Village of Outcasts. I mean, with the mirror, you have options available. You can route all the way down to Hype Cave to check Cave 45 on the way. But I mean, for Tofu, it made much more sense to just go straight into Hype Cave from Link's house, as you were already there. Were already there. Words are hard. And apparently Tofu deciding to go the way of Pyramid Catfish. And oh no, Pyramid into Castle. Of course, we do have the mirror. Very, very nice to route together. ₹300, so now we do have Zora money too, which Tofu can get all the way up to Catfish, mirror over, get all of that in one loop.
The front of Thieves Town had 2 items, and of course, being a pendant, Ninjembro just is out.
This is always the awkward part of a non-green pendant Thieves Town. You really don't want to go into the back. It does take quite a bit, and if it's 2 items, it's like right there where it's not enough items to immediately make you want to do it, but it's not the just single item that you are always comfortable to just leaving behind and don't really care about. Because while we do have quite a bit that we can do, like without the emits, we will hit certain limits at some point. So leaving 2 items behind can be quite a bit more scary than just have the 1 item lying there and hope that that will not be required. Nothing K45. Ninjembro now going over to Hype Cave, gonna find that book. I'll probably immediately take that over to check Bombo's tablet, since Ninjembro actually can get the item.
Okay, we got a sub 18-minute mirror shield. This makes me unreasonably happy.
Weirder things have happened, but yeah, that's not something you see all too often. So now the awkward part for Ninjembro here might be the front of Swamp is actually available, and it has at least 2 and up to 4 items without the hookshot even. Now I can absolutely understand Ninjembro not want to go in there just yet. It feels just super awkward to do always, but it is an option in the seat and can be quite possibly required.
Okay, so Tofu did Dark Cross, got 20 rupees. Ninjembro is going to go check the camper.
Interesting that Tofu decided to not further the way up all the way to Catfish and into Zora area. Something you could have easily done with the mirror. Might be slightly awkward in terms of Graveyard Ledge King's Tomb, since you don't have the hookshot to easily go over there on the way to that, but nothing on Bombo's tablet.
So Tofu's actually going to save time not having the Master Sword checking that.
Yeah. Small little time save. But is Tofu here just... Okay,
got
no.
the mirror. Okay.
Yeah.
This is not Swamp quite yet.
Yeah, like, again, it would have been an option, and as I said, up to 4 items can be available there. 2 at least. Like, we have 4 chests available immediately after the small key, and if we find the big key, that will just open up the big chest to replace the one where we find the big key in, with map and compass being able to be found. They can be either in those 4, or they can be in the other ones. So, depending on where they are, between 2 and 4 items in a Hopeless Swamp available at any time. And like it wouldn't be the first vanilla hookshot that I have seen in a tournament race. So
oh, definitely not. There are plenty of things that can go wrong in open, and well, we'll find out if anything happens.
Okay. Zora not required. We did find the blue boomerang already. No need for the red one. And looks like Tofu now going for the Village of Outcast potential Skullbot's Loop. Maybe into North Dark World. We do have those 2 checks up there. Graveyard Ledge King's Tomb open to us. Not going for a pet check here would have been also an option too. Pendants. I mean, there's a few items that could potentially be on pedestal. Thieves Town is a very, very easy pendant. We can already full clear that logically. We are basically just myths and a fire source away from clearing desert. And for Mystery Maya, we would obviously need a medallion and a cane of Samaria, in addition to those myths.
Actually, with the book, we don't even need myths to get into desert.
Right. You are absolutely correct on that one.
But still, it would certainly let you combo Meyer with desert if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, I mean, for the pedestal, you would need the myths regardless. So while we could go into desert now, we still need a fire source to finish it. But yeah, I mean, you are correct. We can go into desert. There are 2 items in there. One we can definitely grab. One might be on the boss, which is not available yet. But who knows? Could be what we are required to do. There's a fire source. A lamp and Skullwood's big chest. So that's notably the green pendant available, and 2 of the 3 pendants already fully in with logic.
That is mildly concerning.
Yeah, I mean, we do have the book, so it's not all too terrible. We are probably hoping to find the fire rod before we check pedestal, just so we can mirror over to the pedestal from doing Skullwoods in the end. There's a slight problem with that hope in that fire rod can just very easily be on that very pedestal. Like, all we need to finish out Maya are Medallion, Cane of Samaria, and the Titansmiths. What will help with that, though, is that Tempered Sword that ninjembro already found over at Graveyard Edge.
So Tofu could very well just grab 2 swords in like the span of a minute.
Yep. Might not be very far off of that, really, because Tofu started in Village of Outcasts, now went up, and that would place you in a very, very good position to just go the north route after this. Tofu has not been over to Catfish or Zara area, so can just go all the way to the right on that loop. And that would enable her to include both Graveyard Edge and the Back of Escape if you really wanted to. What's more, Tofu already had cleared out the front of the castle, so can finish that off on that trip.
So I'd actually missed it the first time, but there was only one item in the front of Skullwoods here. But definitely not, or okay, maybe it is. Worth checking the 1 in 3 chance of that second item being here.
I mean, I didn't fully pay attention to you if we found Map Compass. If we did, then you definitely should not, because the second item would just be guaranteed on Mothula.
I think everything we found was keys. So we found, 3 smalls, the big, and 1 item.
Yeah, then it's just whatever. It's a 1 in 3. I would personally prefer to not check it usually, but there's the second item. So okay. Tofu now knows that returning to Skullwoods is only required to either unlock the red bomb or B, to get access to Gen's tower. So might not be returning for quite a while, which might be slightly awkward in terms of the potential pedestal check, but I mean, in the end, you always hope that it will never be required.
Tofu never checked Lumberjack on the first time around. This is just 20 rupees, though.
I mean, it is an extra trip that you don't really have to do early on with the boots, as you can get bombs reliably even without this. And you can combine this with checking Bumper Ledge with the mirror, so yeah.
Okay, so ninjembro is going to do the castle. Tofu is going to get her 2 swords here, probably go to Catfish Zora, and I think we'll be pretty much at parity on checks between our 2 runners.
I mean, getting the sword from Back of Escape might be slightly awkward for Tofu if she really wants to go all the way over to Catfish from this, as you would have to walk out of Back of Escape normally to retain your mirror portal.
Yeah, I'm really thinking about what I would do in this case, but generally what I would do is not an indicator of what good runners should do. But what you said earlier about just checking Back of Escape off a save and quit kind of makes sense, I think.
I mean, the problem with the save and quit from Back of Escape, or checking it now and then saving quitting would isolate Catfish. Problem with finding save and quit points at this very moment is that with Mirror and Flute there are not very many of those, but what we can, or what probably will happen, be Tofu here now going all the way Catfish Zora, and then having that forced save and quit from there, using that to get into Back of Escape.
Yeah, that makes more sense. And chat just answered their own question about why ninjembro didn't pick up that key. I did a double take there, but then you don't need that key when you've already done the back.
Yeah, that's the big point of this. That's where you can see top tier runners paying attention or not. If you get the small key but you don't go in from the backside, you don't need that small key actually to full clear. If you get it anywhere, you can save 1 key in the front. so you don't need to actually pick one up from the guards, which is not a big time save, but any second or any half a second you can save anywhere, yeah, can accumulate.
So Ninjembro is gonna go dip pod. Oh wait, and check Saha. We've never done this.
Neither one has been to the eastern area. Because there was not much reason to. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Saha.
Now, interesting part is here, you could very reasonably just decide to pick up the green pendant first, before you go over here.
Yeah, you could.
It is a rather bold choice, it is rather aggressive routing for pendants, but like, we do have the book, we do have desert access. Bombo's Tablet was not what we were supposed to get the book for. So maybe a potential mids in desert scenario could have been in play here. Like, with getting a tempered sword, we do have a reasonable weapon to do land mob with.
Alright, are we immediately bow locked? No, we are not. Okay, so Tofu's getting the sword the way you suggested. Ninjembro's gotten into pod a bit ahead of Tofu, and that just seems to be the difference so far.
Just overall routing efficiency and execution strength. Putting Ninjembro ahead here, but
Oh!
I mean,
I like this.
Yeah, it remains to be seen if Tofu goes all the way to the green pendant. I can absolutely get behind just peeking at least into desert. You will get at least one item from here. There's a Gina. And it is the green pendant, so...
Oh, there's our fire rod. Ninjembro is gonna go attempt to mimic clip here. We only have a B, so no, wait. Oh, he got a blue potion.
Blue potion, yeah.
That's where all his money went. Map compass on the right side.
Yeah, not what you like to see, but I mean, Tofu now knows there will be a big key here on the torch, there will be an item in the big chest.
And an item on Landmo.
Yeah, you know it's an item on Landmo, so you get a 2-for-1 if you want to go there.
And I mean, I think you have to, unless this is literally like mitts or something.
Like, I would say again, it would be a pretty aggressive choice to do Landmo at this stage here. But on the other hand, Tofu being like the lowest seed in the group against the, I want to say highest seed in the group. I might be wrong on that, but still, yeah, Tofu probably knowing going into here with a disadvantage might just be looking for the plays that are not the ones you would usually make in the case of feeling advantages here. So yeah, going for green pendant early on could be your ticket to win, because yeah, you can reasonably suspect most runners would not immediately attempt this choice of routing.
Well, nothing interesting in pod so far except that fire rod, which does give us the Skullwoods clear. But, oh wow, butter stored. And red mail. Wait, so we've got like the whole equipment set.
Yeah, we
minus,
just have
silvers and all the fun stuff.
I mean, yeah, but we got just the whole basic equipment set.
And in Ninjembro, gonna mirror to Eastern. This just makes sense, but this could just be doubling down on a time loss. It remains to be seen.
I mean, you are already here, and while you can get easily back into Eastern here with the glove, it would still be an additional flu trip. It would still take 10-15 seconds getting back up there. So yeah, if you're already here, there's really not much reason to go anywhere else. 3 items here in Eastern, 3 items in Desert, plus Agina and Ledge. So Desert might be having slightly more, but for efficiency's sake, going in here absolutely makes sense. And you never know, might just be vanilla bow in Eastern. But
So Agina here, green pendant turn in, a couple more items in Eastern, and we really don't have much left, do we?
not really. Spike Cave not in logic without an invincibility item. As much as the bottle enables us to do so, it is not intended that way by logic. Yeah, and we have pretty much seen everything else except from, I want to say, the ether tablet. Which, again,
That would be pretty funny.
Now, with how many swords we have found, like, I would be slightly suspicious of that. Nothing here in Icerock Cave, as Tofu just found out. Dwarven Vanilla is Eastern Big Key, so yeah, quite an awkward round trip for Ninjembro here. And if you manage to find the bow on Tofu's side before coming in here, you will save you quite a bit of time. Nope, nothing in Eastern, so
So if it's not the green pendant, Tofu is probably going to give all that time back doing pod in Eastern.
Probably. I mean, there's a bag of T-Stone apparently, which Ninjembro might be going for. It's more likely gonna be the rest of Skullboat's first, though, as Ninjembro, I want to say, didn't check that Vanilla Biggie chest, so has still 1 item remaining there. We know that the Fire Rod itself will not unlock anything new at this point, but it will enable Ninjembro to check the pedestal rather efficiently. Which, again, we do have 2 out of the 3 pendants just readily available right then and there. And we are a bit off of the 3rd one, but that still allows quite a great quite a big amount of items to be still on that very pedestal. Like Hookshot, our TR medallion, the always always elusive ice rod, so just a hard container on green pendant.
Wow, so we've got back of Thieves Town, ether tablet.
Getting a bit bullied by the spear throwing enemy here. Losing the monkey.
So I think it's fair to say Ninjembro's taking the lead back here with Tofu doing pod in Eastern now. Oh, like you said earlier, thank you, chat. The front of Swamp.
Right.
These are all terrible choices.
Yeah, I concur to that statement.
Well, Open likes to do stuff like that.
Like, Ninjembro spent the blue potion on the potion camera unlock, so...
Now, I'm pretty sure Tofu only has a B.
I think so.
Okay, here is our long-awaited pet check.
Yeah, and ninjembro almost really wants to read something required on there as that would give him reason to just go into Pendant Thieves Town and don't worry about it. But that's not the case. That is still just having the most common check in the game, probably.
Okay, so
20 would be.
this looks like Bombo's tablet into Swamp,
Yeah, could
or
be.
Bombo's tablet into Desert.
I'm not sure Ninjembro did Pyramid yet.
Oh, he did.
Okay. So yeah, then this could very likely be just the play into Swamp, which is a reasonable choice. And it looks like Tofu is attempting to mimic Clip here.
And there it goes.
Awkwardly just pushing the mimic upwards, not downwards. So yeah, nicely done, but a slight time loss at the end there.
Now, Ninjembro doing Agina. Okay, he's leaving, so probably Desert now. Oops.
Give me a second, I just get spotted by 13 different people. I'll be right back.
So we'll get to see how close the runners are after Tofu's done with Pod Eastern and Ninjembro's done with Desert and the Green Pendant turn in.
Okay. I am back and apparently didn't really miss anything because Tofu's still in pot, Ninjembro going through desert where nothing is gonna be found. So yeah, Tofu very likely will just be going into Eastern. At this point, there's really not much reason to not do. Has checked the Green Pendant on the way, which is notably something that will take Ninjembro in a bit of additional time. So we'll be losing some of that accumulated lead here, potentially.
Yeah, now Eastern's gonna be a little slow having to do the extra loop, of course, for the big key.
Yeah, but I mean, back off Desert still isn't that quick either. And again, the trip over to turn into the Pendant still takes its 20 seconds or so. So, like this might just be very much in the range of 10 to 15 seconds difference between runners right after each dungeon, respectively.
It will be interesting to see. Because I think, other than... Okay, well, Ninjembro is up, the Skullwood's clear and Ped check, but other than that,
Yeah,
I think they've both done the same stuff.
pretty much. So, yes, Ninjembro is ahead that finishing of Mothula, which is like around 1.5 minutes. With the mids, maybe 2 without. But that can very easily be just the decision between going to Swamp or going to Thieves Town and being right or wrong. Of course, Ninjembro having a slight advantage here with the Fire Rod compared to Tofu.
So Tofu, of course, knows there are no more items in Skullwoods. There are 2 items in the back of Thieves Town, but Ninjembro knows Pet is dead, and Tofu does not. And then the front of Swamp could have up to 4 non-map compass checks.
Yeah, guaranteed 2 up to 4. We don't
So
really
you
know much
have
more
to
than that.
think Swamp is going to be the play here.
Yes, but no, because Swamp is also much harder. Although we don't have the mid, so maybe it's arguably the same. But yeah, going back into Swamp just is quite a bit longer than going back into Thieves Town. And overall, Swamp is the slower dungeon over Thieves Town. Looks like
Ether Tablet! That's right.
Ninjembro decides to take the tablet first. Apparently also got a second bottle. I'm not sure if it is filled with anything. If so...
that was in the back of pod and it's empty.
Okay. I mean, there is Spy Cave that we could do out of logic here if we have something to fill up our health. Because those 12 hearts... If they're full and you do a very specific setup with bomb boosts, I think you could do... theoretically. But yeah, I wouldn't expect Ninjembro to just pull that out here. If you have a bottle filling of some kind, then you can very easily just brute force it. And there are our mids, so yeah, might just go all the way over, check Dark Death Mountain. Like, as I mentioned a bit earlier when we were talking about that, finding all these swords early and the book, I was slightly suspicious of that. It's still not enough to just rush it every time, but yeah, I mean, hindsight being 2020, it now makes much more sense why we found so many swords.
Okay, I think part of the decision here may be whether or not Ninjembro can hover Hookshot Cave versus Tofu. Probably not, I think.
Yeah, that's very likely. If you are remotely able to hover, then this is just a very nice full clear, including getting information about the TR medallion.
Or not?
Not attempting it. I mean, still, you get the TR medallion information. It is 3 checks that are logically available here. And there is not really that much that mids alone open up. I mean, we can do ice now.
Okay, so that's the third bottle.
Myth Chain.
This looks like Tofu preparing for ice, getting 2 blue potions. Okay.
I mean, we do have the money. We don't have Bombos Medallion yet, so we do need a full stack of magic or a full stack of health and sword beams to save out on fire shots for ice. So
I mean, just look at this sink, though. This is crazy.
Yep.
So, of course, Ninjembro's still up that Skullwood's clear. That could actually make a huge difference in how things unfold.
It can, but not that much, maybe. Like, the situation is pretty clear. It is a 2-minute trip that Tofu has to take at some point. Now, the big importance of that is Skullwood is actually a red crystal, so whenever Red Bomb comes into play, Ninjembro would be an obviously better spot to get to that. But it conversely could also be something that would bait Ninjembro to spend 1.5 minutes on nothing for 2 checks. We still need to look for that Ether Medallion. We still need to find Ice Rods and the Cane of Samaria, so we do have some items that we are still missing. Notably, we have neither Samaria nor Hookshot, so we don't actually know how much of Ice Palace is actually in logic. Like, we do know the guaranteed 3 with Pen Gated chest, which we already saw, Ice Tea Room, and the Freezer Room. Those 3 are always in logic when you have access to Ice Palace. Everything else depends on which keys we find where or not.
I'm never quite sure about Ice Palace logic, so I will defer to your expertise here.
I mean, we will see how it turns out.
Nicely done for both runners.
There's a big key that pretty much locks everything here behind something. Most notably, right side now logically completely hookshot locked. For boss, we don't know yet, although given that we have not found another small key in the big chest, it looks like the boss is either just Somaria or straight up hookshot lock 2, depending on where the Somaria is.
Interesting routing difference.
Just right side is straight up hookshot lock. Also, notably, we got an item out of IST room. There's one other. Did we saw the third one?
The net, yes.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, nothing in Ice Palace. Ninjembro likely to maybe skip the item on the right side with the knowledge of it being hookshot locked. If he does notice the fact, which I would assume he does.
Very nicely done with the cold stare kill.
So we're getting a bit bullied by the first freezer. But yeah, slight difference in routing and difference in execution, showing Ninjembro leading Ice Palace quite a bit ahead of Tofu, after them almost at the same time going in. Tofu also going the long way back to Ice-T for that last item, which is in logic, so I'm certainly not blaming her. But
so Ninjembro's going to get a couple checks here in the mire area and still come out a little bit ahead.
At this point, Tofu's decision to go for an early green pendant check, not being rewarded, now leading to probably not having that many more options behind to find something to catch back up and get ahead. But yeah, there is still a bit of options available. I wonder if Tofu might be inclined to maybe an earlier dip into swamp now, because the obvious choice is what Ninjembro is probably attempting right now in the Smith chain. Like for Tofu, you could combine that potentially with doing Skill Woods, but that also is more of just a thing in itself, because you just go to the mirror portal and then up instead of down. So most likely after doing Moth, you would just mirror, flip back to the portal, and then just go down. So yeah.
Another very nice cold stare fight.
Buttershot does make that rather trivial. Like 4 hits for each of the clouds. First spin hits all 3. Second slash to put them in the corner hits all 3 too, and after that it's just spamming Cane of Somaria on the Smith chain, specifically on the hammer packs.
So that is a thing we need, but doesn't actually do anything for us right now.
Yep. But yeah, that find pretty much makes it almost impossible for Tofu to get a lead somewhere, I'd say, because yeah, we don't really need to fight much more, and the cane is like this one thing that locks us away. Tofu now going for the Skullwood's clear, maybe wants to check out the pedestal to have a lead on doing Thieves Town or not. Like, again, Tofu knows there's no more item waiting for her here. She's not getting red bob access with doing this as the second
Oh my
spot. And
goodness.
there's the... Oh, that's not something
awful.
Ninjembro is happy to see. Like, Ninjembro knows that pedestal is dead, but yeah, that's Bombo's medallion you really would have wanted to be in GT. But apparently deciding to just immediately follow that. 2 items in here. We can get all two of those. But yeah, this is a point where things could pivot. Tofu decides to go for Thieves Town or Swamp and find something there.
I mean, the seed went out of its way to give you the stuff for Meyer. It is awfully suspicious, and making the choice to ignore that is definitely a choice.
I mean,
that is circular, but you know what I mean.
It does, but on the same token, like, it's only 2 checks here, and like, over the course of the seed, items have to be something. So while you can always be suspicious of those things, they are by no means absolute tells. So like, Swamp still can have double the amount of items that Ninjembro would be able to find here, and could just be very easily having that hook shot, unlocking the rest of the items. Maybe having a bow in there to just unlock the red bomb, which also I'm not sure if there's an item in Eastern left or an item in Pot left, but they would be then added to that too. So yeah, this Bombos can just as much be bait as it can be just our required progression.
Well, we appear to have temporarily lost Tofu.
Let's hope things will return in time so we can see her decision.
Well, her stream is still up and running, so this is not a failure on her end, it seems.
Okay, 1 item out of Meyer, just being 20 rupees. Just the most common check in the game, 28 of those in the item pool. So like over 15, almost 20% of the items will gonna be those red rupees in a normal open seed. Or generally in a normal item pool seed.
Okay, so Meyer didn't have stuff. Okay, well, I'm having a look at Tofu's stream. It looks like she did not pick up Samaria, but she did go to Swamp. And this is Thieves for Ninjembro. Okay. Did that fix it?
Let's hope so. Will take a bit of time for the buffer to catch up again. No need to panic.
Well, I'm keeping an eye on Tofu's stream.
Yep.
Are you?
There we go.
Oh, we came back.
It's like just in time for us to see Tofu going to the left side and swamp.
All right, I can tell you, nothing interesting happened while Tofu was gone.
Okay.
Oh, but the runners got desynced. That's gonna bother me.
Well, unfortunately, that's just a result of how things work. Let's see. Left side swarm, left chest has a bow. Oh. Well then, while ninjembro being in Thieves Town and finding nothing so far. Okay, right side item of left side swamp. What's it gonna be? The big key. Yeah, that's not what you like to see. Going all the way back to the big chest now. Unless it's a vanilla
hookshot is still on the table here.
It absolutely is.
Nice blind fight.
And
that's bottle percent.
Okay, nothing on this one big chest. So yeah, most likely the bow is what is unlocking our progression now. Because I
don't
think
the lack of Samaria is going to be interesting. Because this is a pretty good lead for Tofu, but things could go very wrong later on.
They could, but since we know where the Bombos medallion is, Tofu is not gonna be let into Mire ever.
To answer chat, Kane was at Hammer Pegs.
Unless we're looking for the ice rod there, but I would suspect by that point Tofu would have found the Ether medallion, because Mire will lead to nothing at all, and then it's probably rather the decision to go towards TR. Which, of course, without the Ether medallion, Tofu will not be tempted to. The thing is, Tofu has not been on East Death Mountain, so a hookshot could reasonably lead her there. Which, then not having the cane will mean an additional mountain trip.
That is true. Now, the Smith Chain would be 3 items, while Back of Thieves and Mire are each 2, so it's unlikely she goes into another Pendant dungeon. Is what I think, at least.
Yeah, I mean, given that she was able to find the bow there in a spot where she could reasonably suspect other runners to maybe dip Thieves down first, she might feel confident enough to not having to dip that Thieves down. So yeah, there's potential that Tofu can spot that Smith Chain cane there and potentially find it as go mode item. Like the most likely scenario that is waiting for us right now is potentially Red Bomb being required for something. But if that Red Bomb just leads to, let's say, the Ether medallion and nothing else, Tofu will be severely locked out of much else to do. Like, worst case scenario for Tofu could potentially be the hook shot, leading for Ninjembro to just find go mode off of this chain. So yeah, remains to be seen what we are finding here. Like, best case scenario for Tofu would probably be just Ether here and then hookshot in TR, so that Tofu more or less will be coming into go mode with that cane. Although it will make the seed rather long, giving Ninjembro plenty of time to catch up on execution.
Yeah, I mean, looking how, like, Ninjembro's done 2 additional dungeons, basically, and he's still not even that far behind. His execution's been excellent so far.
And there's nothing that really, or there's not much that prevents Tofu from doing those additional dungeons at some point. Because we still need to find that Ether Medallion, we still need to find that Ice Rod, although at this point I would absolutely look in TR for that one. And yeah, we still need to find that hookshot. So, yeah, I mean, Mire for Tofu is pretty much off the table, because she won't find the cane before we find something else, most likely. Which would either be the hookshot or the Ether Medallion, and at that point I would suspect Tofu is rather going to TR than to Mire. The big thing for Tofu will be doing Pendant Thieves Town before the Smith Chain or not. And finding a powder potentially here could help her decide to do that.
I think you definitely do Smith Chain first, because the first 2 items are like hammer pegs and the smith right there, but you have to go all the way to the back of Thieves Town for those 2 items.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with doing Thieves Town then before Purple Chest is you cannot just leave the Purple Chest outside of Thieves Town unless the last item is not on blind and you can just mirror out. So by that point you would either just do Purple Chest first too, or just leave Purple Chest behind after Hammer Packs, do Thieves Town first and then return anyway. So however you do it will be a bit awkward. But yeah, most of the time, Thieves Town, Purple Smith Chain is probably be the first thing to do. Now, Tofu done with Pot Eastern, as Ninjembro is catching up on those. This will very much likely just be all the way straight to Red Bomb, because that is what the seed is pointing to, especially with the bow. Tofu really wants to follow that, given the location where it was.
Okay, well, it's good to know that it's just my stream that failed. At least you can still see what's going on.
Yep.
Okay, I'm back. This is good. Pyramid Fairy for Tofu.
Yep. It is what the boat directly leads to at this point. Nothing in Pot or Eastern that we was able to get us more checks, so yeah. It is likely gotta be this. Now we don't have a hookshot to dash here. This will be quite slow for Tofu if she does not go for the bomb tube. And if Ninjembro does, that will be more time saved on execution, so with Tofu still having to go to those hammer packs, it is getting close in that case. But it remains to be seen what we are finding here now.
Ideally for Tofu, this would be Ether.
Yeah.
It's
and it is the hookshot. It is the worst thing to find here over the Ether Because now Tofu has reason to go up to mountain, and that without the cane. So this is the scenario where Ninjembro could just very easily get into go mode of this chain, and Tofu having to do an additional mountain trip. Maybe finding Ice Rod here in Swamp, just losing out through execution on this one.
We certainly still have a race, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, first thing first here, you finish Swamp, because you have to. Like, all the remaining checks in Swamp are on the way. So whatever's in there, there's no reason to not do this right now. Like, small notable difference here. Tofu does not have the cane to do the diver down the back. So depending on which setup you use, that might be slightly faster or slower for you there. So potential time save opportunity there for Ninjembro having that cane.
Oh, I was gonna say now we get to see Specky, but the water was already there.
Yeah, there's not much point to Specky there. You could attempt it.
Just for fun?
But yeah, it wouldn't really do that much for you.
So, even if Tofu ends up doing an unnecessary mountain climb, what's in her favor is she can't dip TR without that cane.
Yes and no.
Wait, both bows are in Swamp?
Apparently.
Nice.
What's more, one of them was hookshot locked after that first bow. So, yeah, no way around this. Force double dip Swamp. No way, no matter how way you slice it. We got the Cane of Burner, so Spy Cave finally in logic.
Alright, Ninjembro has caught up in crystals, and is this going to be Swamp or Pyramid Fairy? I mean, no, of course it's not Swamp, right? It has to be Pyramid Fairy.
It has to be Pyramid Fairy at this point. Like, I'm not sure that Ninjembro actually has logical other options open at this point. Might just be a straight up last location.
And Tofu putting those silvers to good use.
Nope. But nothing more to be found in Swamp. So yeah, the awkward thing for here now is Tofu is most likely gonna go to Dark Death Mountain, find the ether there, but have no cane. Ninjembro will go to the mountain, find ether there, will go into DR, hope the ice rod is there, and be in go mode. Which we have seen back of the song. We have seen Catfish at some point, I'm very sure. Like, I feel like Spy Cave, if we haven't seen that yet, is pretty much the only check that we haven't seen that would be on the way somewhere. Or that wouldn't be on the way somewhere.
Yeah.
So, like, that ice rod cannot be hiding somewhere too far away. So, however that is going to turn out, Tofu is on a timer here. Because Ninjembro is just fastly approaching go mode. And Tofu has distractions open for her still.
So Ninjembro's just going to blitz his way through Swamp. Tofu needs to finish up here on the mountain, probably do Spike Cave, and then choose to do Smith Chain.
So maybe best case scenario for Tofu if she decides to go Spy Cave is to find the ice rod there, because that is the one check that Ninjembro is not likely to do. Or not that likely to do, rather. Everything else could turn out to be very, very close race.
Nothing in Hookshot Cave.
Oh.
So she's
Okay,
going to check the TR medallion, certainly. Or... She didn't see it before.
She cannot have seen it before because she was never over here with the mids.
You know, I think actually at this point, with so little left, you just assume that the first medallion you find... Ooh, I don't know.
I mean, the awkward thing is, if it is Bombos the first thing you find, you might be baited into Mire, and you don't know if it's also needed for TR. If it's not Bombos what you find, then yes, you are going to just go immediately straight to TR. Probably.
Oh, there's Ether.
Yeah.
Okay, so something had to be here, we knew that.
Yeah, if we didn't make any mistake, then there had to be something here. So.
There is no world where she goes into Mire because she's going to find that cane before Bombos in purple chest, but she doesn't know Ether is a TR medallion now.
I mean, she doesn't know that Ether is TR medallion, that's the big point, but she did find just a medallion here, and like even if you find Bombos, you now have 2 out of 3 medallions. But there is the problem that Tofu has still Back of the East Town open. So there is potential choice there that she might get distracted. And
well,
we are still missing the Ice Rod. So even if you find the cane here, you could potentially try to scout Maya for the Ice Rod.
I'm just very puzzled by not checking the medallion. We'll have to ask her about that.
Yeah, it is a choice. I mean, it does take a few seconds there, but I mean, it can put you in a very awkward situation, especially if you do find Bombos right now.
Well, there is Samaria.
You have no
inclination. Swamp.
Yeah, you have no inclination right now for Tofu to just say, nope, I just gonna go back to TR. I'm not. No, she can assume that TR is Ether, based on how the seed went so far, but she has no certain knowledge. And ninjembro is gonna find that Ether right now. So whatever happens, ninjembro has the advantage on TR, because ninjembro knows, and has frankly no other checks left open, I want to say, aside from Hookshot Cave.
You know, I think if Tofu is going to find... Wait, that was not... Okay.
That was a misfluid.
Okay, so I think she finds Bombos here and goes, now I have 2 of 3 medallions. Oh, okay, I guess saving quitting's faster for ninjembro. Okay, Tofu polluting to 1. This is... Oh my goodness, this is so close now.
I mean, we basically know at this point that Icelot has to be in TR. Like, unless the powder or the mushrooms show up, like, it literally has to be here. Like, I don't think we have any checks left that are not checked on ninjembro's side. But
yeah, I think so.
That fact means that Tofu also has basically no way aside from GT routing to get an advantage on routing again over ninjembro. And execution advantage does make this a very, very hard race for Tofu at this point. Now, obviously,
it is good to see that all of the volatility sort of canceled out, and now we're going to get an execution battle for who's going to win this race.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, ninjembro's got to check Hookshot Cave still.
Yeah,
And I was actually just thinking, Tofu, even after finding Samaria, still probably would check Smith Chain, or Smith and what's called Purple Chest, just for Ice Rod, even if she knew Ether was the entrance.
Yeah.
So this is a tiny lead change, but Tofu's going to need every second she can get over Ninjembro.
Pretty much.
Okay, and just double checking, we are certain the Ice Rod needs to be in here, right? There's no gotcha, we just both forgot.
If it's not directly in here, it has to be behind something that is in here. Like,
oh, yeah, we could have a fetch quest.
yeah, we don't have mushroom, we don't have powder yet. Both of those could be in here leading to the Ice Rod. But matter of the fact is, Ice Rod should have to be here because I don't think there's anything else left in the game for ninjembro to check. Oh,
Oof.
Unfortunate Bari there. I really hate those.
Well, this is so exciting. I'm on edge here.
So, I mean, upside is whatever we find. We can always save our portal on Laser Bridge because both mushroom and powder are checks that we can do in the light world. We do have flute, poke shot, and mirror. So we can always get back here after mirroring with in the light world, save our portal. So we don't have to take a second trip through TR. Now.
And hopefully both but what I say? Both runners remember that if that's the case.
I mean, Tofu isn't that new to racing. He has been at it for, I think, 2, maybe 3 years now. So I'm pretty certain she is aware of the portal save. Ninjembro definitely should know. Now, the interesting thing would be if you
there
find...
it is!
Okay, that's just the Ice Rod straight up. Never mind.
Okay, that is go mode, and this is so close.
Yep, literally being in the same room, but Tofu again taking a step out of the way. Although Ninjembro gets a bit bullied by that flying head there. But yeah, these little execution differences can now make a difference. Now you could also just take a huge gamble here on a 50-50 of the big chest not having a small key.
We've only seen 2. Or hang on. Oh yeah, we need the small key.
No need to think too hard about it. We definitely need all small keys. So only if there's none in here, and you definitely need it. So if you were to take the gamble, you just would fool yourself and lose 40 seconds. Well, no, much more, like 2 minutes, because you need to get back here. You would have saved 40, maybe 30 seconds if that was not required. But yeah, it is a huge gamble to take, and probably not one you want to take in such a seat, because you know it's going to be close either way. So losing 2 minutes here could very well lose you the race. And those 40 seconds might not even save you. Okay, one little gamble you can take here. Do you start top or bottom? Top is the correct choice this time.
And off we go. Like, we have everything we could ever want except the cape and powder, I guess.
Pretty much.
Oops.
Oh. Little bit early on that cane, and again here, and these seconds are very, very precious to Tofu. We see Ninjembro closing in relentlessly. One room apart, pretty much. They will be in the boss fight at the same time.
Alright, 123.47 entering the door for Tofu.
Tofu also not going for the 0 cycle. Let's see if Ninjembro attempts it.
13 seconds difference entering the Trinex fight.
Yeah,
And ninjembro is going to gain some time back here.
Yeah, going for the 0 cycle. Yeah, that will be at least 2 or 3 seconds. So that ninjembro will gain here on the fight alone.
My goodness, this is intense. If only the runners knew how close it was. Wow. Right, so
Maybe
unless something
8
weird
seconds?
happens, Tofu will be the first into GT, so we will be going by her count for where we find the GT big key.
Yeah.
And get your guesses in, because we don't have much time.
Bonk for ninjembro, that's a second lost. Those things matter at this point. Okay. Left or right? Where will our runners go?
Alright, 125.16, the screen goes black. Well, there's the bonk. Alright, 11 seconds difference.
And there's a big key on the very first check on the right side, and both will get it, but neither will have a small key. But there was the cape there too. Probably
That's
not relevant.
really nice. And there's just a small key for us right here.
Tofu not
Oh
decided
my
to get
goodness,
the
this
second
is-
small key of the pot, instead
this is
going for the
crazy.
key of the hammer. Let's see how ninjembro decides. Same thing here. So yeah, thing is, this is close enough that I will just give the lead to ninjembro here, even if he is physically behind at this point. Like, I know Tofu well enough to the point where I don't think her climb execution will be holding up to ninjembro here.
Well, I don't know her well enough to say that, so I'm gonna say she's ahead now and she's gonna stay ahead. Just so we can have some different opinions. And so far, so good. Tofu making good use of that cape.
Yep. Ninjembro just...
And here's where
Right
the real
on her
test
heels.
begins.
Yeah. And yeah, we see here immediately the difference. Ninjembro cutting that lead down to like 4 seconds in the first room.
Tofu missing that skull toss, and...
We are
wow.
synced after the second room of the gauntlet. Okay.
Oh no.
Ninjembro had a bit bad luck on the RNG, but Tofu not getting the better end of it. And yep, now Ninjembro's already straight up ahead. Okay. Lenmo 2, one of the big deciding factors in execution rates this year. You can mess this up. Ninjembro does not. Tofu keeps
Nice
up.
work by both of them.
Tofu going for a bit of extra magic, losing 2 seconds there. Oh. West ropes 2, clean by Ninjembro. Tofu keeping up. Ah, getting that
Oh, no.
unfortunate poke. Oh, this is unfortunate. Also, slightly awkward thing. Tofu already only on 4 hearts at the moment. Ninjembro having 10. On red whale, not too terrible. Tofu should have a red potion. But,
yeah, that one
yeah,
came free, and I think she still has 1 blue potion left.
Yeah.
Losing a little more time there on the mini Helmas.
Yep. Okay, Ninjembro getting a little bit trolled by Moldom here. Getting bounced off the dash.
Nicely done.
But still gets through.
No need to check validation chest. And Ninjembro has 8 silver arrows, which is twice as many as you need.
Yep. It's like the one.
Well, we're tied on heart containers again. And here's Aga 2.
I mean, the last one really big thing where difference could come in Aga 2, depending on if you get good hits in here with the patterns.
Alright, so Ninjembro's 2 cycles ahead here.
Yeah, with okay, this is also a
nice triple for the 3 cycle. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, Tofu missing here one on the first one. Maybe gets 2. Nope.
I don't think that counted.
Nope. So we'll get an additional Aga 2 cycle. Oh, still needs 2.
Yep,
this should be doable,
should
though.
Be it. Okay.
Yep.
Alright, Ninjembro dropping it again at 130.16.
And I mean, with all this equipment that we have, I don't think there's going to be any time to lose on Ganon. Like, we don't need 6 slashes for first and 2 second phases respectively. So, like, that is as free as it can get. If you don't get the 1 cycle with the butter sword, yeah, you're probably not trying.
Well, my stream decided to die when Tofu was dropping in, but Ninjembro is way ahead here.
It's already in the 3rd phase. Ganon wants to teleport a bit. But those teleports will be the same for both runners, so there's no way for Tofu to catch up on that. And the silver phase is the last thing where it could be difference. In general, not getting a good setup for a double here. We'll need to light the 2 torches an additional time, but Tofu not in the 4th phase yet. Well,
it's like the ice rod on the torch.
Yeah.
And that'll do it. Ninjembro's going to defeat Ganon as Tofu gets to phase 4. Ninjembro is going to take this one, crossing the bridge and finishing with an official time of 1:31:52. GG.
GG.
Tofu still in here, on down to 2 hearts, but she's got it.
Yeah.
Wow, what a close race! She is going to finish at 1:32:20, and that's not me predicting it. I can see the thing. So 28 seconds. What? Wow! Wow! What a race!
Yeah. Very, very close race in the end. Yeah. Bit unfortunate for Tofu there, but yeah. Ninjembro full clearing the seed, basically. And showing off the strong execution.
Well, we should be joined by Ninjembro momentarily, and also Tofu. Any second now.
Give them a few seconds to get ready, everything that they can join us every time, as Ninjembro has done just now, and Tofu as well. Yeah, GG's
well,
to
GG's to both of you. That was an amazing race, and what a show. Well done, both of you, and congrats to Ninjembro on the win.
Oh, GG's, Tofu, and yeah, thanks.
Yeah, GG too. What a crazy route for the bow, hookshot bow.
Yeah, I was just like, this game. I was actually half expecting the Ether Medallion to be at Pyramid Fairy to get your hook shot in Turtle Rock to get Ice Rod in Back of Swamp, but once the hook shot showed up, I was like, okay, it's just this, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. At one moment I thought, okay, hookshot on pedestal would be very nasty.
I forget when, but I read Pedestal at some point, so I knew.
Yeah,
it
me
had
too.
nothing.
I think after clearing Skywoods and
Yeah.
beating Mothra.
Yeah, I mean, the difference there between you two is in Ninjembro you went into pod quite a bit earlier, so you had the fire rod to check out the pedestal quite a bit before Tofu did, because he just decided to route it a bit differently. Then had no real reason to go back to Skull Woods, as she knew both items there were nothing. So you had the pedestal knowledge a bit earlier, but yeah. In the end,
Yeah.
you both did that at some point.
Also, shout outs to like the game just like sending you to these pendants, and I'm pretty sure all 3 of them having absolutely nothing.
Yes.
That is pretty much correct. Now, Tofu never went into Mire, so
Okay.
that is
Yeah,
not something Tofu...
fortunately, the 2 items in Mire were pretty early.
Oh, that's good for you.
Yeah, like I think I was able to skip like the 2 checks on the right, so like the big chest and that chest that's like behind the blue pegs, and then the boss. Like I did do cutscene, which had like nothing, I think, but
It had an item, but it wasn't relevant.
oh, okay.
It was a 20 rupee.
Gotcha. I think it was that, and like the lobby chest had the second item. And I was like, okay, let's leave.
So, like, aside from the 1 item left in Ice Palace on the right side, or maybe 2? No, maybe just that 1.
I think
you
it was
checked
just 1, which is why I
pretty
skipped
much everything, right?
Yeah. Looking at my tracker, yeah, I had the 1 item left in Ice Palace, and that was it.
Yeah, which also, in the end, may be one of the big differences in deciding this race here, as Tofu did check that, and did take quite a bit longer through Ice Palace.
Yeah, Ice was very slow for me without hookshot, without Somalia.
Yeah, like I
Took quite
actually
some
thought
time.
about it. Like probably saw like on the restream, like I thought about it for a second and like almost went up the stairs, and I was just like, you know what? Like the thing I'm really looking for basically at this point is the hook shot, and it can't be here.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm leaving, and like if it just so happens to be like, I don't even know what could have been there that would have been useful for me at that point. But like, if it was like, I guess ether, like for way down the line,
rod.
like yeah, or ice rod, like obviously that would burn. But like, I was more worried about like immediate like progression to my next thing. So I just wanted to get to whatever the next thing that opened stuff up for me was, and if that ended up being the deciding factor and making me lose, then like so be it. Like I've lost on things like that, on gambles like that before. I will lose to gambles like that again in the future. Like this is part of rando.
Yeah, it was a really great gamble for you.
I mean, to be fair though, Tofu never went into the back of Thieves Town, never went into Mire in exchange for that. Given off the route that Tofu didn't get that cane that early, so had the hook shot before the cane, so went to an extra trip to the mountain.
Oh, gotcha.
Without the cane. Did not check the TR medallion notably, but did go all the way to Spy Cave to find ether there. So by that point, we as the viewers knew basically how the seed had to go down, with the ice rod being in TR. But yeah, Tofu could have been baited to maybe back of Thieves Town. Or
yeah, I was thinking
potentially
sometime.
Mire about that.
I took so long to go back there because I was like, I was pretty sure. I was just like, I was like, Tofu maybe did this. So like, if she did that and I waited so long to do it, like it's one of those things where like it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Like if the hook shot was back there, like I just lose this race.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, after finding Eva and Spiker, I was so, oh shit, I never checked Turtle Rock. Okay, it will go well. Then I did purple chest for bombers, so yeah, it must be one of them.
Yeah, I mean,
Was a little bit lucky.
It could have technically been Quake required with the Quake
Yeah.
Medallion being in Mire or Back of Thieves Town. So there were some chances like that too. But yeah, for you it was basically the reasonable thing to just go to TR even without knowing exactly that it's there. And yeah, like Tofu was earlier into Swamp than you ninjembro, so that's where even though you got a decent advantage on execution over just skipping out on Thieves Town, skipping out on Mire, allowed Tofu with that earlier Swamp play to get ahead, but Tofu ultimately was not able to carry that to
I mean, and even
the
then,
end.
it was super close.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah, I said in the
to-
race room before, I was thinking about going to Swamp very early after
yeah,
going into Dark Red would be so huge.
that could have been a very, very big turning point in this race here. Yeah, to give a bit perspective to that, Tofu was ahead in the Tronix fight, like throughout TR, because you still had to check Hookshot Cave at that point in Jambro, while you were like about the same time opening up TR with that additional trip to Hookshot Cave. Tofu like got into TR first.
Wow.
But yeah, ultimately it came down to then execution in GT, turning that back around.
Yeah, there were some little mistakes where I knew, okay, they are lost time.
Also, shout out
was-
to First Chest, Big Key.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Both
both of
of
you
you
going
had that.
right.
Both of you had that. Both of you just took the key of the torch. But yeah, then the execution in the GT climb just was turning out this into Ninjembro's favor. Although Tofu, you did keep up quite well, aside from small stuff.
Yeah, but
it was
that's the
impressive.
moment
Just-
you think, okay, I need to train GT climb.
Well, yeah, your climb was still impressive. It's just ninjembro was pretty much perfect.
Yeah, like there were some small things that could have gone better. Like I want to say the room with the blue Zyzax there before the
Yeah,
second ice room, where you both didn't really get the best RNG combination with your movement. But
Yeah.
aside from that, Ninjembro was just very, very clean.
That's the worst
Yeah.
room in Gauntlet.
absolutely. And the room with I think the second bridge before the first room with the torches.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for you, Tofu.
was very
you got the poke there, getting you out of
Yeah.
the dash. Ninjembro got through clean, so
That lost so much time.
Yeah.
Like-
Oh, I guess GG's again. I'm gonna go grab some lunch, but
Yeah.
thanks for all the commentary and the restream and the tracking. Need to grab lunch because our next race is in 2 hours.
yeah, which also will be your last race for the group stage, if I got that correctly. To which I think you are already basically qualified for brackets, going for one of this race. But yeah, probably solidifying your group, your first place of the group with a win in the last race would be probably very nice, right?
Yeah, I wanted to get like all of my races in as fast as possible, just so that I can have a couple weeks of less racing, just because of like other tournaments and stuff. So I was fortunate that everybody was able to schedule so quickly. Except it's just been a lot of rando this week.
Yeah, I mean you're speed running the group stage, so.
But yeah, GG's again, and Tofu, I'll see you in a couple hours.
Yeah, GG. I will eat something too. And thank you for the restream. Thank you for commentating, for tracking. Yeah, see you in 2 hours. Bye bye.
Well, good luck to both of you in your next race.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And yeah, speaking of next races, there will be some more going on throughout the day. One starting in like about 15 minutes, if I read time correctly. Not on this channel, but over on SpeedGaming 2. There should be a cross hunt going on between Iceman F1 and Iconic.
And if nobody else signs up for comms in the next 5 minutes, I think I'm going to be commentating that one too.
Well, yeah, if you want to save Blue Link from just doing back-to-back commentaries, you can always sign up. Otherwise, if you just want to get that rice, grab a drink, maybe catch some food, and then come back here in about 15 minutes to SG2. But that should be everything here from our side. If you have not done so, follow the runners. The links have been posted into the chat. You can also follow ourselves here from the crew team, commentary from myself and Blue Link. And a big shout out to the tracking done by Derek Sharna. I'm not good with names. I hope I didn't botch that too much.
Excellent work from him, as usual. It's a real pleasure to have someone that dedicated to tracking.
Yeah. We cannot really do this without the trackers. They are the silent, unsung heroes of every restream, keeping the commentators honest and allowing everyone to keep up with what has been found throughout. But yeah, that should be it. Any last things you want to mention, Blue Link?
No, thank you for joining me here in the booth. It was a lot of fun. And of course, thank you everyone for tuning in. Hopefully you will stick around for that upcoming race on Speed Gaming 2, and for the number of other races happening later in the day.
Was a pleasure from my side too, and yeah, hope to see you all very soon, or if not, then to one of the other races.